William, hopefully your favorite videographer. We are here at the Dallas Area Rapid Transit Board meeting, the agency known as DART to Dallas, Texas residents. As a service to the Dallas community, we plan to cover DART board meetings from gavel to gavel. Public comments are required to keep DART board aware of issues close to the ridership that they may not get through other resources.
Good evening, sorry. Okay, it is now 6:38 and I am opening the Dallas Area Rapid Transit Board meeting for the evening. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from August 14th, 2018. Do I hear a motion? Motion and a second. All in favor, please push your button, or opposed, as the case may be. It passes unanimously. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is a good thing. I welcome Joe Berklio. I'm happy to see you here, Joe. It's been a long time. And the CAC is recognizing Joe's service to DART. He's been involved how many years, Joe? I believe that, 27 years. He's been a volunteer. He's been an advocate, he's been a critic, he's been all of those things, and I'm delighted to see you, Joe. So, having said that, I'd like Ms. Scheck to come forward. And Ms. Scheck is, as you know, the chairman of the CAC. Good evening.
Thank you. I'd like to read the proclamation that we have for Joe for his many years of service to DART and to the Dallas community and even surrounding communities. I live in Irving and he's been out there for quite a few meetings also. I met Joe 30 years ago and we were both working on the referendum elections, wanting to keep DART going in the Dallas area. And he has just been invaluable. He stands up for whatever he believes in. He advocates for equality and diversity, and nothing stops him. I mean, he's not there because he wants approval from people. He's there to try to get his cause through, and that's something to be really admired. And so I'm really happy to, and I do want to say too, he has a very good sense of humor. He can laugh at himself better than anyone I've ever met. And that's a great characteristic for anybody. But I would like to read this proclamation to him, and I'd like to invite the other CAC members who are here tonight to come up as I read the proclamation. This is Joe, to our audience, this is Joe Berklio. This honorary proclamation is issued to Joe Berklio for outstanding service to the DART Citizens Advisory Committee. Whereas the DART Citizens Advisory Committee assists the board by providing input from service area customers and stakeholders in the areas of planning, service delivery, and maintenance as part of the development of DART's transportation network. And whereas Joe Berklio was a member of the CAC for more than 15 years and also served previously on DART's Community Transportation Forum, and whereas Joe Berklio helped guide agency policies and programs during his tenure on the CAC, and whereas Joe Berklio served admirably as a member of the CAC, including the positions of Secretary, Vice Chair, and Chair, and whereas Joe Berklio retired from service on the CAC in 2017, now therefore be it resolved that the DART Citizens Advisory Committee expresses its sincere appreciation to Joe Berklio for his years of dedication and service. And Joe, we miss you and we want you to come back whenever you can.
Sue. Something you may not know about me, when I was just very, very young, I was the youngest person who ever ran for Dallas City Council. And I thought that at that time, as the youngest person that had ever run for Dallas City Council, that would be the end of it. Well, the former mayor of Dallas saw differently, and he thought, well, I think I can shut this young man up, so I'll point him to one of the best boards in the city of Dallas. He did that, and I continued to serve on many boards in the city of Dallas over the years. And even though I said what I thought, and Ms. Marino knows that I'm a person that doesn't shy away from controversy or saying what I think, as you know, Sue. And so I've spent the last 48 years of my life serving on various boards and committees, not only in the city of Dallas, but in Darton. I think Kay's right, it's probably been over 30 years. I'm getting old, I can't remember how long I've been around here, but I've enjoyed my service. I use the transit, and I brought a lot of insight that a lot of people that do not use the service regularly may not always see. And so I'm sorry for any I'm not really sorry for the toes I stepped on, but I'm glad that I was able to offer some insight as to what it's like to be a bus passenger out there, as opposed to people that may not use the buses and trains regularly. And I really appreciate public transit. I've been all over the country, and anywhere I go, I always compare DART to our public transit system to theirs. So, thank you.
Well, appreciate it. Gary and I are going to come in. Do we have a photographer? Okay.
And again, smile. Thank you. Thank you.
For serving.
Joe, I love you.
I'm going to also give a report for the July and August meetings of the Citizens Advisory Committee. I know you have a lengthy agenda this evening, so I'm going to keep it short. In the July meeting, in my absence, Chris Walpole, the CSD Secretary, did an excellent job chairing our July meeting. During the meeting, members boarded a DART bus to examine an alternate seating material, Kevlar. Members present gave unanimous approval of it. Ernie Martinez, project manager for DART Capital Planning and Development, gave us an update on the B2 subway project. Subjects he discussed were alignment, stations, project funding, and engineering issues and challenges. He stated the project is presently in the development phase and is at 30% design level. There will be a public meeting in September. Member suggestions, questions, and comments were obtain more input from riders, incorporate noise and vibration into design and operation, which I think you voted on earlier today. And someone asked, what is the completion timeline? Under old business, there was discussion about the need to rewrite DART's code of conduct and a discussion about smoking and police officer duties. Under new business, implementation subcommittee is working on a handout to improve ridership. New electric buses for the D-Link was discussed. Downtown parking issues on weekends, and the fact that for some it is less expensive to park and pay than to ride DART. Also, more public explanations needed for fare restructure. And the agenda for August will include a speaker about fare restructure. That meeting was adjourned at 7:15 p.m. In August 2018, Joe Costello, Senior Vice President of DART Finance, gave us an update on DART's fair restructure. Included in the discussion were kinds of fairs, past types, regional changes, best fairs, and fair capping. Member questions and comments included that the slide presentation provided an excellent explanation of fair changes. A question was, could Go Pass be set up for credit card automatic payments similar to what the NDTA does? Another was concern for passengers who cannot afford the increase and may find using their own vehicle more cost efficient. And also, can the average annual cost of a vehicle versus using DART be advertised in brochures and media announcements? Another question was, could a small brochure about fare changes be made of cardstock front and back? It would be more durable for women to keep in their purses, since the brochures tend to get torn and wrinkled. The last comment was, will the rider stats provided automatically by counters at vehicle doors include passengers exiting? The answer was only the entrance info is included. Under old business, it was mentioned that DART Rodeo will be at the Westmoreland Station this year on the week after Labor Day. And then we announced about the proclamation for Joe Borglio. Under new business, the speaker for September will be someone from marketing to give us info on news and dumps and surveys. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Shack, appreciate it. And congratulations, Joe. Nice to see you again. We're going to now move to the public comment period. I'm going to read my script. General public comments will be allowed at the beginning of each DART board meeting for a total of 30 minutes and again at the end of the meeting when the 30-minute period does not accommodate all persons who have signed up to speak. If you wish to speak at the end of the meeting, please fill out a public hearing or public speaker card, and turn it in to board support staff prior to the start of the meeting. Individuals who have addressed the board in the past 30 days will be recognized to speak during the public comment period at the end of the meeting. During the public comment period, board members may not interact with the speakers or other board members by asking questions or offering their own comments. Members of the public are reminded that their behavior during DART board meetings is governed by the DART Board Code of Conduct for Citizens, News Media, and Visitors. Personal attacks, impertinent or slanderous remarks, and boisterous conduct will not be allowed. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board. The green light on the podium will indicate when you can begin speaking. The yellow light indicates that you have 1 minute remaining. And, the yellow light means you have 1 minute remaining. And the red light indicates that your time has expired. I'm going to go to our first speaker. And before I do, I want to point out we have a new system up there for speakers that was broken last time, as some of you may recall. And I think your advice is much more helpful when you're making your remarks, when you have the new system up there. Our first speaker this evening is Mayor Volker from City of Richardson. Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you. Madam Chairwoman, board members, DART staff, and the citizens of the service area of DART. It's my pleasure and honor to stand in front of you today to thank you for the hard work, and trust me, I know it's been hard work, in taking the actions you're going to do tonight. As public servants, we all know that making the sausage sometimes is interesting, if not fun, and it takes longer than people oftentimes think it should. But to make sure that all voices are heard and that all action is appropriate, I believe you have taken that time and energy to come to the decisions you're making tonight. And I support those decisions any way you vote, because you're voting with respect to your constituents and your knowledge of the situation. City of Richardson joined DART in 1983, and we bet on DART for lots of reasons. I'm a board member of the North Central Texas Council of Governments. On a monthly basis, I'm reminded about our air quality needs and the lack sometimes of achieving what we staff to do. I think DART is a major contributor to help us make those achievements. As mayor, trust me, I get an awful lot of emails on traffic congestion and problems. I think DART is an exceptional way to do that. As a former chairman of the Richardson Chamber of Commerce, I pride myself on economic development, and I think DART is an excellent way to achieve economic development. Richardson's actually a wonderful place to showcase that success. If you look at the city line development, which we'll discuss a little bit later, DART can be proud of the number of people that live, work, and play because of that station. We're planning to do similar things to the Arapahoe Station, UTD Station, which will be on the Cotton Belt, and others, because we have a model that works, and we're very, very proud of it. And the action you take tonight will allow us to continue down that path, where we made a commitment in 1983 to be hand in hand with you in achieving this goal. And I'm honored to stand here in front of you and thank you for the work that you've done as a board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, appreciate it. Next speaker is Philip Strong. Welcome, Mr. Strong.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight. And I'm Philip Strong, Assistant Vice President at State Farm Insurance at City Line, which is located in Richardson. And on our corporate campus there in Richardson, we have approximately 8,000 employees who work there, and we have plans to grow to 10,000 employees. And I'm here today to speak on behalf of the Cotton Belt and to share that we have great interest in the Cotton Belt moving forward. I have appeared before you at each of these critical meetings where there's been very important milestones that were being crossed. And I'm here once again this evening to say that State Farm continues to support construction of the Cotton Belt line and urge your passage of the service plan amendment to help make it possible. State Farm has had a long history here in Dallas, and one of the reasons why we located our corporate campus in the Metroplex, and specifically at City Line, was because of access to regional and multimodal transportation options. In fact, you may be aware that we have two other hubs. We have one in Phoenix, and we have one in Atlanta metropolitan area. And in those locations, transportation was equally an important factor to us in considering those areas for investment. It's in our view that DART has provided a valuable design for regional transportation, and we are very interested in seeing it expand with the new east-west connection that will be created with the Cotton Belt project. And the reason why it's important to us is really twofold. First, it's important to our people, and then secondly, it provides a competitive advantage. And so let me just expand on that just a little bit. For our people who work at State Farm, passenger rail connections, it gives them flexibility in where they want to live and whether they want to own a car. We have a lot of millennial employees, and it just gives them options. But from a business operations perspective, passenger rail allows us the ability to expand our reach to potential job candidates, giving us greater access to hire the best people available from the regional workforce. So it gives us option to hire employees all over the area. We applaud DART for its vision and long-range planning that has allowed it to reach this point to make the Cotton Belt passenger rail timeline possible for North Texas. And we ask you to take the next steps toward making this become a reality. And I just thank you so much for your time, your consideration, and all that you do.
Thank you, Mr. Strong. Our next speaker is Dr. Calvin Jameson.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Ms. Thomas, thank you so much. My name is Calvin Jameson. I'm the Vice President for Facilities Development at the University of Texas at Dallas, the four-time national chess champions. And more importantly, the most recent NRUF qualifier, which is the National Research University Fund. This fall, we welcomed 28,000 new students to our campus. And I want to talk about the partnership that's made this possible. In particular, in 2008, we had no buses on our campus. Last year, we had 1.5 million riders on our bus system. In addition to that, we only had 2,500 students living on the campus. This fall, we had 7,000 students living on campus. Of those students, 1,600 live in a transit-oriented development adjacent to the new DART station that we're proposing to support tonight. I can't say enough about the impact this will have on our ability to reach the rest of the region with the talent pool that we have at UT Dallas. We anticipate in our strategic plan that we'll be 32,000 to 35,000 students before the dust clears. And those are very talented kids. In fact, in this class that we have here, there were 170 National Merit Scholars, of a total of 600 National Merit Scholars on our campus. And at the end of the day, it means that we have a talent pool to support the high-tech jobs that we have in this region, the businesses that are needed overall. What better vision than to have it so that someone lands at DFW, gets into the rail, and gets off at the UT Dallas stop, checks into their place of residence and go across the street to study. Indeed, that's the next generation of what we need to be. Every great region has an excellent transportation system. This is why this is extremely important to us in terms of the things that we're trying to do overall. So I ask you and say, vote positively today, and I want to thank you so much for the partnership you guys provided for us overall, and we look forward to continuing that partnership in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jameson. I'm going to take chairman's privilege. I have to say this. I hear so much about Texas Tech around this table. I graduated from UTD.
I can tell class.
You could. All right.
Again, they do work for you.
Thank you, sir. The next speaker is Bruce Oxstern. I'm going to apologize, and then you can tell me how to pronounce your name.
You had it right the first time.
I did.
Yes, and Dr. Jameson is a hard act to follow for sure. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Bruce Arston, and I'm former council member and Mayor Pro Tem in the town of Addison. And I'm here on behalf of the mayor and the city council, who are having their own regular meeting tonight. They've asked me to speak on their behalf. And since I am, I suppose I should stick to the notes that they sent along with me instead of using my own words. But we want to express our appreciation to the board for all you have invested in the Cotton Belt rail line. Addison feels strongly, as do the other cities touched by the Cotton Belt, that your commitment will pay off in a big way to benefit all North Texans. So for that, we say thank you. When Addison joined in partnership with 12 other cities in 1983 to create DART, we all share a belief in the power of regional transportation. Addison has always recognized the importance of regionalism. For more than 3 decades, our partnership with DART has been focused on doing what is in the best interest of the entire North Texas region. Your vote tonight signifies that you not only continue to share that vision, but also that you're committed to making it a reality for all DART partners. We know there's still a lot of work to be done to improve, but we're optimistic that by working together, we can help improve transportation in Dallas as well as throughout North Texas. It's an exciting time for Addison, for Dallas, for the North Texas region, and for DART. And it's because of vision and so much courage that you all have shown and dedication to supporting regional mobility. We thank you so much for all your very hard work. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you, sir. The next speaker is Van George, followed by Ashley Bench. Is Van George coming down? Is Ashley Bench coming down? No? I'm getting a no from both. How about Lorraine Clifton? Lorraine Clifton? Oh, hello, Miss Clifton. Hi, nice to meet you.
I want to thank everybody for allowing me to be here today. Thank God for another day. My concerns is having to do in my neighborhood, Linwood Heights Neighborhood Association. I'm here on behalf of our bus. Thank you for DART. Thank you for the 60s riding the transit, getting us to the parades downtown off of Oakland and Forest Nest, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King out. My concern is that I have grandchildren that goes to school in the neighborhood that they took our bus from us. The route where we connect to get to our hospital, to our appointments, to our doctor appointments, to get them to school. The one Wynwood has been 81 and 82 change. They removed our bus stop that her name is Jerry Walker. She was associate of mine to the dry cleaning business. I met her, the daughter and everything. She's a good friend of mine. The DART employees, I was dry cleaning business for 20-some years, so I pressed creases in the shirts for the bus drivers. I know a lot of them personally, their children and everything. Gino Mayo with the DART police, and just all of Pendergraft and Gary Williams and everybody. I know that if it wasn't for DART, we couldn't get to where we need to go. Even if we have transportation, sometimes they break down, sometimes we don't have it. We're less fortunate that we don't have a vehicle to get us connected to the 161 or the 405 to get my grandgirls to school. They're doing construction right there. We have breathing problems. We have handicaps. We have elderly people that catches the bus there to get to their doctor's appointments that has vision issues, has limb issues. We have stray dogs. We're fighting with the city with the stray dogs. We have crime and everything, being victimized in our neighborhood. My main thing is that they took our bus away from us, and my grandchildren don't have a way to get to school. That it connects, where they connect, it misses us all together, in or coming out. That's how we do our grocery shopping at Kroger's because of the DART bus, the Wynwood, and they just left us stuck out with no way to get in and no way to get out. I'm a cancer survivor. I've had 15 surgeries within 3 years, so I count on DART because I can't drive even if I have my car and driving on the freeway. So if it wasn't for DART, we wouldn't make it. I'm just saying. And the walking, the distance that we have to walk is too far. By the time I get there, I'm out of breath. I'm just hearing this in my back. We have people in wheelchairs. We have people walking in the streets because of our when we was built in the back in the 60s, 70 years ago, when they built our area. I'm sorry.
That means your time's up.
We have no sidewalks.
Would you like to speak with Rob Smith?
Yes, please.
He is right there waving at you, and maybe he can talk to you about your bus route?
Yes.
Thank you, appreciate that. The next speaker is Sherilyn Samuel, followed by Kenneth Day.
Sherilyn Samuel, 26-year employee with DART, wrongfully terminated. People are so much in their pride that they rather have an arbitrator bring it back than to admit that they was wrong and to bring it back. So I filed for unemployment, was denied. I appealed it, had the first hearing. The person that's hearing the case did not get to me to question me because of all the confusion with the reason why they said they terminated me. So we had to reschedule. We rescheduled it again before the next meeting came. She told DART specifically to bring their witnesses so that she can talk to them. She told DART specifically to bring documents that would coincide with a document that they said that I had signed for. They had December 10th, 1998 said that I signed for rule book. Rule books were not around during that time. So she asked me to bring an update. The rule book page is for March 2017. So the second hearing, they bring an update sheet, but it was for 2006. Still does not go with the rule book page that they said I signed for. So she's more concerned, so I feel like that she's having conversation with daughter, because she's more concerned about the botched up tape that they sent to her, want to know where I was standing, where Ms. Phillips was standing, where David Bradley was standing. What do they have to do with me getting my unemployment, where I was standing? The questions are, did I do what they said I did? Dart did not prove nothing. My work record is outstanding. See, the person was so, you know, the words say don't be anxious for anything. So when you get anxious, you make big mistakes. So they never check my work record to know that I'm an outstanding employee. So now they're in a situation of we embarrassed about what we did. So my pride is I'm not going to bring it back at the arbitrator. So now the woman said it again. Bring your witnesses. You need to talk to them. So that's the reason why I know that Joy is talking to them. So please, don't y'all think I can suffer enough?
Leave this hand. Mr. Day?
Good evening, Madam Chair, honorable board members. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I began my employment at Dallas Area Rapid Transit in 1980. I was elected as a union officer in 1994. And I've been elected every 3 years since that time. When you go to arbitration, to seek resolutions. We call it trial board or fact finding. We have a situation where we've gotten rulings from the arbitrators and DART consistently just overlooking. So we're spending unnecessary money. I've talked to you about the fact finding. We're talking about 3 employees that's owed about 60 hours. We spent almost $15,000 on the fact finding. We have had the same rulings on the hourly side that we comply with up until there recently. You have an attorney in the legal department. He does whatever it is, whatever it would take to make sure we got unrest around here. Now, why are we taking the same cases back and forth? This fact finding I'm telling you about is only a remedy. There's a lot of attorneys sitting around the horseshoe. And I know you understand what a remedy is. When a person has been harmed, they're entitled to a remedy. So if I stand up for overtime through no fault of my own, if you bypass me, you owe me a remedy. Take it a little bit further. If someone's not making a mistake, I would not be here. Hold the person that's making the mistakes accountable. Ms. Shirley Samuel, I like to say, it was a top-down decision. It was a wrongful termination, and she's right. She shouldn't have to be here. Ms. Horner, if you stand, please. This young lady came to you several months ago about an insurance claim that was owed to her. This money has been outstanding for over 2 years. She still has not been paid for a death benefit that's owed to her. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Day. That is our last speaker. We'll now go back to our agenda. Moving to the consent agenda. With the board's concurrence, I'd like to move the consent agenda at one vote. Does anyone need anything pulled from the agenda? If not, do I have a motion on the items 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Would everyone please vote with their machines? The consent agenda passes unanimously. We will now move to our individual items. The first item on the agenda is item number 13, and that would be Miss Cuellar. It's item number 13. Make a motion.
Yes, I'm trying to unmute.
Repeat that quickly.
All right, sorry, I was
That's
trying to avoid
okay.
the microphone, yes.
No problem.
So this is the approval of an amendment among DART to LTC, City of Mesquite. I'm reading it, it's scroll. And Star Transit. To extend the contract for 1 year.
Very good. Is there a second? Second. All in favor, again, using our voting machine here? We have 13 yeses and 1 no. The motion passes. The next item is item 14.
Madam Chair, before we take this item, I'm going to excuse myself from the room and recuse myself from this vote as my law firm represents Uber Technologies down in this matter. Abundance of caution.
Thank you, Mr. Wakeman. This item will be introduced by Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 14 is a contract award for rideshare services to supplement GoLink service to Uber Technologies, Inc. for a 1-year contract and an amount not to exceed $1,146,053. This item passed through Operations Safety and Security Committee meeting 2 weeks ago and through the Committee of the Whole this evening with 2 dissenting votes. I would like to make a motion for approval.
Is there a second? Second. We have a second and a motion and a second. Everybody please vote. We have 11 yes and 2 no's. The motion passes. The next item is item 17, and that would be Mr. Richmond. It is the 15th supplemental. Oh, it is a 2/3 vote. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, I'm pleased to make a motion for approval of agenda item number 17. It's a delegation of authority from the board to the staff to finance the Conval Regional Rail Project and the Central Business District Second Light Rail Alignment Project, also known as the D2 subway. This came through the Budget and Finance Committee and was approved unanimously, and then earlier today by the Committee of the Whole.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Just reminding you, it's a 2/3 vote. So if everyone will please vote by their voting machine down here. Okay. Is everybody voting? Okay. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you. The next item is the item number 18, which is the Betterment Program, and that would be Ms. Marino.
Madam Chair, item number 18, approval of the Betterment Program for the Cotton Belt Regional Rail Corridor with the amendments that we made in the Committee of the Whole.
We do have a blue sheet, so whatever this reflects the action taken at the Committee of the Whole. Is it a green sheet?
Second.
What's a blue sheet? That's good.
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Apologize.
Okay. Now, just again, everybody's clear, we have got a blue sheet on this item, right? We got a motion, do we have a second? Okay, everybody please vote. This is a majority vote. I'm sorry,
My blue sheet does not look like the one that we had.
does it say approval of Cotton Belt Betterment Program on it? Are you okay?
I am, yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, I guess before we take a vote, apparently there are 3 people signed up. I thought they were trying to speak about the service plan. It's on the Betterment Program? 18. Okay. This is, okay. Okay, we actually have 3 speakers who would like to speak on this particular item before we vote. So we do have a motion and a second. The first speaker will be Cookie Peaton, followed by Rick Gover, followed by Daniel Powell.
Thank you, our board members and the staff. First of all, I'm going to say a quick thank you to Steve Salem, the entire engineering staff, and the DART board for all of the hard work that's gone into defining all of the mitigation measures that have been implemented as a result of the draft environmental impact study. There's been a tremendous amount of work, and that has alleviated a lot of the fears and concerns of not only people in North Dallas corridor, but people I've spoken with from Carrollton and at Richardson open meetings. The other thing that I wanted to address quickly is the betterments, because that's a big issue for many of the residents, not just in North Dallas, but other residents along the corridor who abut the tracks. And based on the 2006 resolution, there was approximately $60 million in today's dollars allocated, but only to $28,924,000. I think I got that right. No, millions. Have been allocated for betterments. And having worked in project management in the past for a large airline in this area, I can tell you that when you're trying to spec out betterments or improvements for a project, and you're in this early design stage, it's incredibly difficult. I would like to humbly request that DART board vote to setting aside all of the remaining funds in the betterments budget for potential impacts that can occur during the rest of the design and implementation of the rail system. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peaton. The next speaker is Rick Gover, followed by Daniel Powell.
Hi, my name is Rick Gover. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you tonight. I'm a resident of Shout Pond Place, which is a 95-home community. We're on Preston Road between Davenport and Arapahoe. We're 1 block north of Prestonwood Country Club. And if you've been in that area, you know how congested Preston Road is. It's very difficult today for our residents to make a left-hand turn onto Preston, and even a right-hand turn to go south on Preston. And I can only imagine the increased traffic that's going to occur on Preston Road if you go through with the Preston Road station. I've attended many of these meetings over the past few years. I've never heard one person voice support for the Preston Road station. We would certainly hope that you remove it from the master plan, delete it. It would just be tremendously disruptive to our community. The other thing is we've got about 30 homes which are adjacent to the Cotton Belt line, within a few feet from the line. And many of those homes are 2 stories. I've been told that a 15-foot sound wall is much better for those people than the 12-foot wall. And I would ask that, at least in our area, that the 15-foot sound walls be constructed and installed instead of the 12 feet. I think it'd be better for our residents. And because we have those homes very close to the tracks. I understand that the vibration control, which is the rubberized material in the subgrade, is not going to be throughout the entire Cotton Belt line. Well, again, I would request, if at all possible, to minimize the vibration issues for our residents, that the rubber subgrade material be added to reduce the vibration issues that may occur. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Goldman. Mr. Powell.
Good evening, Dart Board members. Thank you for your service. I just want to again echo the sentence that were just stated. And the Cotton Belt Rail, of course, can cut through a lot of our neighborhoods, and a lot of the community members are concerned about property values and quality of life. And so I hope that you'll implement public suggestions from all the community meetings, as well as the Dallas City resolutions. I just want to echo support for two of the proposed betterments. First of all, the additional sound walls that would be implemented where they weren't currently in the original mitigation plans. That's going to cover a lot of the homes that are along the tracks, and would actually help to, again, reduce a lot of the vibration and noise impacts. And also would like to see 15-foot walls as well, so that echo that support. And then second of all, I think it's actually on the next item, but I do support the Hillcrest grade separation, because that's going to be a major thoroughfare through our district. And without a grade separation, there's going to be a lot more traffic congestion, trouble for access with emergency services, vehicles, and so forth. So thank you very much for your time and for your consideration.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. We have, I believe, a motion and a second on the floor. If this is for number 18, approval of Cotton Belt Corridor Betterment Program, if we could please vote. The motion passes 11-3. Thank you very much. We're now on item number 19, and number 19, that would be Amanda Marino.
Yes, Madam Chair. Approval of the service plan amendment for the Cotton Belt Corridor Regional Rail Project alignment, grade separation, station location, and facilities, with the amendments that were made in the committee of the whole.
You do have a green sheet.
The green sheet?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And it will be a 2/3 vote also. Everybody would like to vote? Oh, I'd like a second. Sorry. I have 2 seconds. Mr. Kennedy and Mayor Stover. All right. Now we'll vote. Thank you. We have 13 yeses and 1 abstain. The motion passes. We now move to item number 20, which is our end of the meeting comments. We have 1 speaker, Mr. Brady.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The choice for speaking was actually on number 19, that just passed. And it is a sign of really good thought and action on the part of this board for the future of DART. Don Raines, who passed away just within the last few days, was one of the strong forces around the horseshoe with Dan Monitor and Ray Ella, who made the decision that the Cotton Belt was really essential for the future of the DART and for the service that we need for all of our riders. We built a fine hub and spoke system, and with the strength of the Cotton Belt East-West corridor, we now can think in terms of really strong transportation, access, and opportunities for the strength and growth of our service area. You're to be commended for the long hours that you have spent on this project. Mr. Thomas, you and all of your staff are to be commended for the many hours of meetings and the long hours of effort in the design process. The hardest part is still to come. We have to educate all of our citizens of the needs of what they will be faced with for the time period that we do the construction work. Many will be welded still with the thoughts of LBJ and tollway expansion and the pains and pangs of the traffic congestion they face. We can help with a good education program in the days ahead to let all of these citizens know of how outstanding this will be. And we can let them know how much it will be far more than a trip to DFW. The employment and education pockets that are along that corridor will bring strength to Dart's ridership for decades to come. Thank you for the fine effort to make the choice to move forward. Let's get digging. Thank you.
Mr. Brady. That was our last agenda item of the evening. It is now 7:29 p.m. and we will adjourn. Thank you all for coming down. Appreciate it.
Biz William, hopefully your favorite videographer. We love comments. If you don't like the way Dart is handling things, lay it out for everyone to see. If you like or hate this video, tell us. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, tell us. We even love it when you call. Better yet, like or follow us on Facebook or subscribe to us on YouTube and get instant notices of all our videos the moment they are posted.